Going live. And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and welcome to the FrontLines. The FrontLines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminonkeys, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. How are you guys doing today? Well, it's another day, a very busy day. I must say, working on the audio. I hope that the hiss is gone again. Add some settings and hiss comes back, and so hopefully we are good for today. Apparently we figured out a little bit back and forth with our Zoom settings. Zoom has been upgrading their software. I believe it has something to do with that because it has its own audio device now. And if I try to access it, doesn't allow me any controls over it. So probably we're going to have to use Zoom, not use Zoom when, let's say, if I'm doing an interview with someone at this point, because the audio comes over so soft, and no matter what, there's no adjustment. Um, Now, I must say they also have a very brand new version that came out yesterday. So this could be where it's solved, and we'll try that out. But beyond that, we'll try some other options on when I have someone else speaking. But so we'll see how that goes. So what is let me do a couple of more things. I think Roy Potter did a video on a couple days ago where he was really upset with Trump, right? And I kind of did a kind of a take back on what my take on what he said, and said, he's basically saying, well, wants to force everyone to vaccines. Trump didn't say that. Trump said, we'll have a vaccine by the end of the year, but it's up to you whether you want to take it, right? I don't think Trump will take it, um, because the whole point is to defuse the situation there. So anyway, I came out and I had my piece. Now, in reading some of the comments, people have sent me some messages saying that this is one of those flips, those people that were for Trump. All of a sudden, they turn on a dime, right? And now they're against him, right? And that's what I took the emotion of what he was saying, right? And emotion sells, right? So someone coming up with a lot of emotion, I reacted to it. I did a counter to it. But maybe this is one of those controlled opposition moments, right? And we were warned, right, by QAnon. Q said that there were going to be these flips that happen, these pro-Trump supporters all of a sudden flipping. And in the current Q post, it was really talking about this is war. This is not the war of dropping bombs in where the media sees that we're dropping bombs, between countries. Not that kind of war, right? There's no tanks. There's no, armies crossing the divide. There's no, navies, basically against other navies. But at the same time, all that is going on behind the scenes. The news is not going to report it. If they report it, it's from a certain, perspective or narrative that they want you to see. So this type of war, some people say it's an information war, and for some things, yes, it is an information war. It's a narrative war, right? It's about keeping our focus on what we're trying to achieve, and don't get sidetracked onto these other little narratives that come up, because this is what their only tactics left for them is to basically take those that they have been saying good things, or giving a good they're on board with the team, and then all of a sudden they start diverting the whole team, right? And going, hey, we're gonna all go this way now, away from Trump, away from QAnon, away from removing the deep state. So this is part of that part of the war where they're calling in their troops, and they're saying that they want to have. And sorry, this guy came to visit, jumped on my lap. Um, so this is the time of war when they're calling up their frontline troops, their deep state insurgents, right? Those that they put out into the game on the other side and said, okay, now you guys flip. You go ahead and go against Trump. So if that's what Roy Potter was all about, we can notice that those things are possible. I don't know. That's just what people were telling me. So listen, I still stick by what I said, though, and because I think that Trump hasn't. We haven't lost. We're actually gaining. It's actually miraculous where we are at this point. After everything they threw, they've shut down the world to get rid of Trump. They shut down the world so that they can bring vaccines. They shut down the world to take away your business. They shut down the world just so that they can have control over you. And it is all falling apart on them. Everybody is waking up. So this is one of those things where it's not going to be easy to identify everything that happens, because there's all going to be all this narrative grabbing attention, right? So I'll bring up something that is currently grabbing the narrative. Let me go ahead and switch my screen around here, and we're gonna talk about this. Oh. There we go. So probably a lot of you have already picked up on this. So the death of George Floyd Protesters clash with riot police as thousands demand justice. So this is from May 27th, 2020. Here's watch the video, and of course it's stopped here on Black Lives Matter, and yes, they do. All lives matter. White lives matter. Asian lives matter. All lives matter. So this is again, when I see this now, I'm always now cautious, especially when it's these printed signs that look like they were, professionally done, right? So anyway, that's not to say that all professionally done signs are, but let's just say there was a lot of thought put into it. So let's see what we're going to show here. Well, it's not playing. Why is it not playing? Okay, well, for some reason it's not. Oh, there it goes. So we've got it's about a 1-minute video halfway through. But it's just showing the rioting. I guess there is a reason for wearing masks if gas masks are if gas containers are being thrown at you. Okay, so there we go. That's the video that they're showing here. So, okay, protesters have clashed with police at thousands that took to the streets demanding justice over the death of a black man, George Floyd. It came after distressing footage emerged on Monday showing an unarmed Mr. Floyd pleading that he can't breathe as a white police officer kneels on his nest shortly before he died. The clip taken by a passerby captures 46-year-old begging officer, "Don't kill me." Chaos broke out.
There are two questions about
there we go.
things you've tweeted about in the last few days. Were you meaning to criticize Vice President Biden for work?
Don't need to go into that. I just let that now. So, all right. So chaos broke out on the streets of Minneapolis after police officers were fired at demonstrators demanding that they be charged over Mr. Floyd's death. So people are upset, right? They see some very disturbing pictures, and then suddenly people are going to get out and they're going to protest. So I find that that's really disturbing, right? So here's these pictures, right? Yeah, and we can see what was going on there. Now, let's not go into this whole part because what we're talking about here is the protests have started. So let me am I actually, yeah, okay, I have this. Let me switch this back for a moment. All right, now let me line this other up. So I'm going to show you. Got to do a little maneuvering here to get this lined up. So in the WWG1 WGA Love Telegram group, we've got some information coming across here, which I think is something we should really pay attention to. We actually have the video of what's these same videos, and so let me share this with you now. Sorry, it sometimes takes a little bit of time to set these things up, especially when I'm so is this really the best way? Should we end up doing this where we're going to be viewing this not in live broadcast and eliminate some of this downtime? Okay, now let me share my screen. There we go. So again, here's the video we just watched. So police tear gassing Minneapolis protesters. All right. And of course, here's this disturbing image, right? So a video emerged following the death of George Floyd, showing an officer kneeling on the neck. It opens with Floyd's lying beside the rear wheel of the vehicle, with a white officer pinning him to the street by pressing his knee into Floyd's neck. Floyd can be heard repeatedly moaning and gasping while he pleads, "Please, I can't breathe. Please, man." And as bystanders gather around, growing increasingly agitated and shouting at the police to let him up. After several minutes, Floyd gradually grows quiet and ceases to move. An ambulance took the suspect to the hospital, where he died a short time later, police said. No weapons were involved. No officers were hurt in the incidents, according to police. Well, I guess people are not really, yeah, this statement right here doesn't really, quell the people, right? Because they're upset that the people were injured. So let's look at this particular video now. Turn up the audio.
We know that there are inherent dangers in the profession of policing, but the vast majority of the work we do does never require the use of force. So again, my condolences, deepest condolences, to him and his family members. Before involved, former employees have made that decision this afternoon.
Okay. So very disturbing, right? It makes one really like, why wouldn't he let him up? Right? All the questions come out of that. There's not enough of him. Was there really just cause? We have no idea how he ended up on the ground. What happened just before then? Right? So, was there any weapons involved? Was there any agitation between them? All we have is this image, and it's horrible, right? Enough to get people to protest, to go out in the streets and riot. Okay, so let's continue on here. So Minneapolis police officer says, we know that there are inherent dangers in profession of policing, but the vast majority of the work we do does never require the use of force. So again, my condolences, deep condolences to him and his family, the 4 involved former employees that made that decision this afternoon. In the case of Gardner, he was placed in a banned chokehold by a police officer trying to arrest him for illegally selling loose cigarettes on the street. Gardner's dying words, "I can't breathe," became the rallying cry for the Black Lives Matter movement, calling attention to a wave of African Americans and other minorities who died at the hands of police using unjustified lethal force. Attorney Benjamin Crump, retained by Floyd's family, said a statement that the officer's abusive, excessive, and inhumane use of force cost the life of a man who was being detained by the police for questioning about a nonviolent charge. Again, selling cigarettes by the single use. So, okay, the little quote here: "This man was being questioned on the ground, pinned by policeman's knee, selling cigarettes at his rally. His life ended in that moment." So let's go a little deeper here. Okay, part 1. The deeper we go, murder on FF, or inciting the race war via Soros. More questions. So this is what takes us over to Twitter. I've got some questions about this George Floyd incident. The car in the restaurant footage doesn't match the one he was killed behind, and the cops that killed him are not the ones that arrested him. Interesting. Let's see, let's just take a look at these. So that's 830. That's the vehicle number 830, and this one is 320. So that is a different vehicle. So these are the police officers that are arresting him, and this is the one that basically has him pinned to the ground. Obviously, these are not the same. And a little bit further down, it says, okay, camera where the arrest took place, over here on the corner, died over here. So what happened between here and there? Video footage released by the store owner, who stated that George did not resist arrest, and stated on the police report, as stated. So he did not resist. Okay, let's put the volume back up.
But the restaurant's owner says it does not show Floyd resisting arrest. This video, obtained by CBS News, shows what appears to be the start of a confrontation between George Floyd and Minneapolis police officers. The video from a restaurant security camera shows officers taking him into custody. But the restaurant's owner says it does not show Floyd resisting arrest.
Okay, so he's not resisting arrest. What else do we have here? So when he's removed from the vehicle, he's not resisting. Okay, not arresting. Doesn't really call for a knee on the neck, right? Again, the car filming him getting out of the car with the police is not in the shot, and the cops are totally different in the ones that killed him. So here's a link to his attorney. So let's not go there quite yet. Let's see. Where did the original cops go? Why did these two guys show up? Suddenly, there's Black Lives Matter riots. Soros funded by BLM like Antifa. Listen, I support the people rioting the police station. They deserve answers. I just want the truth. This is no excuse. This is an execution, no an arrest. Right. So yeah, it's an execution. All right. Car 830 makes the arrest. Car 620 kills him. Where does the first two cops go? Why are they across the street now? So what's this one?
Those two cops wasn't alone. Here you have two more cops. One's holding his feet. One is with his knee in his back. And the other has his knee on his neck. Meanwhile, little Piglet over here is telling everybody he's resisting. Now I tell you, 3 officers on a man that's handcuffed on the floor facing down is resisting? Resisting what? What is he resisting? So
yeah. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I think They executed an innocent man to create a new narrative. Black Lives Matters is funded by George Soros. They can only show up to riot where they help these communities where are they the rest of the year? Okay, so we get it. So very interesting. A lot going on here, right? All right, so let's move on and go back over to the Telegram. So what kind of deli would call the police for a forgery in progress? What forgery documents? What deli normally would call the police to follow up and not to serve the customer? Now, actually, I'm not sure if this is the this is the same. This is the same thing. All right. So it's kind of weird though, right? Forgery? Is that the forgery of cigarettes? I don't get it. When asked by reporters about the use of the knee on the man's neck, Chief Alderando said the department has policies in place regarding the placing of someone under control that would be part of the full. I can't see the rest because it's all highlighted. All right. The Minneapolis Police Department released a statement earlier this morning confirming Floyd died in the hospital after officers had responded to forgery in progress. They did not release details on Floyd's alleged offense or when they had been doing this heads up to his attempted arrest. According to CBS Local, he was apprehended outside Cup's Food grocery store around 8 p.m. after he allegedly tried to use forged documents at the deli. Police found the man believed to be in his 40s, matching his suspect description in his car. He was ordered to step from his car. After he got out, he physically resisted officers. Policeman spokesman John Elder claimed in the statement. Officers were able to get the suspect into the handcuffs and noted he appeared to be suffering from medical distress. He was taken by ambulance to Hennepin County Medical Center, where he died a short time later. So forgery doesn't seem much like a forgery. If one was cigarettes, the other is not. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep digging here. Go down here. Yeah, okay. So this looked like a Freemason slash Soros psyop. A lot of gematria codes encoded in this event. Funny how the guy on the ground is louder than the people next to the phone yelling at the cops. The trash can has a predominant 6 on it, and the diesel is being sold for 99 cents, where the price over there for diesel is $2.70. 99 reversed is 66. What a coincidence. And now, how do you choke someone by applying pressure to the back of the neck? And why did the police department not defend their cops like they always do in every other case instead of fires them the next day? All good questions. This stream 2 hours long and spends a lot of debunking on the event and decodes a lot of gematria detected in lots of black people calling and agreeing with what is being presented and pointed out in consequences to calling it a joke. So I guess there's an in-depth one going on. Let's see, what is this? I might have clicked on the wrong link there. Let's see. This is not quite it. So let me go back and click on this one. So again, this is
code of letters and numbers. This is mostly a Masonic practice.
we're not going to go through this. I just want to pull it up and kind of zoom around here. So they're going to go into more about what's going on behind the scenes here. So if you have is this one of these fake uh, flag events instead of saying false. Uh, or as In Pursuit of Truth likes to say, foxtrot, foxtrot, right? Because you can't say the word. Yeah. Uh, so I think that there is something to this, right? I think that this seems like whenever you see Black Lives Matter pop up on the scene, that there or Antifa, and the news is covering it from a certain angle, you have to step back and you have to think, what does the deep state want you to do? They want you to riot. Is there good cause to riot with this video? There certainly is. Certainly is. Someone dies. If he actually did die, I don't know, but sometimes that happens, right? Where it's just a show. They green screen things in, they set the stage, different cops, maybe a different individual laying there. We don't know. Can't really see his face too well. It could all been staged. We don't know. I don't know. I'm saying there is as much as I know about it is as much as I've just shown you. But there is cause to basically be concerned because when they don't have an event, they have to create one. What their major event is dying, right? The COVID scam, the con job 19 is dying. They've lost that big battle. Now, yeah, did they do damage worldwide? Yeah, they did. This fake virus scam that it's really showing itself to be the worst thing to do is the shelter in place. The worst thing you can do is wear a mask. And they only start wearing masks when everything starts falling apart on them, right? And what was the beginning fallacy was saying? Oh, you only wear a mask if you're ill to prevent others from getting sick. And they don't work well at all for protecting you from getting sick. But they flipped that around. Why? To keep the fear going. Because they had nothing else. People weren't dying. I don't got it. I don't got the cov. Do you got the cov? Another pursuit of truth method of expressing that there's not really anything there. There's no there. So is this just a way to get people to riot? That's what you have to ask yourself. Those are very good questions. Why can you hear him say those words, right? That he can't breathe. Why can you hear it so loudly, but the other people right next to who's recording are shouting at the officers? You can't hear them. How is that even possible? I mean, listen, I'm dealing with audio problems and trying to make things happen and dealing with how far away I am from the microphone. You know, people calling in can't hear them. You gotta put this in perspective. Did this actually occur? Right? At least occur in the way they show it. All these are very good questions. Not the same officers, not the same vehicle. He didn't show he was being that he was resisting, right? They showed that they were really laying on him pretty hard though, and how they were, controlling his motion, stopping him from doing things. From that point, I would say, they were, doing what police officers do. They manage it, right, and try to minimize the chance for basically, someone acting out, right, and not complying. And why didn't the police department support their officers? Why did they just go ahead and fire them? If they weren't the actual police officers that arrested them, they came from nowhere, right? Were they actually officers the day before? Or are they, crisis actors? These are just questions. I don't know the answers, but these are things that you should ask. Are these crisis actors? Was this a stage event just to get people to riot? We have to come together. Black lives matter, white lives matter, Asian lives matter, brown lives matter, yellow lives matter, green lives matter, purple lives matter. You know, lives matter. Just think about it. Lives matter. What we want to do is not fight amongst ourselves. We have to recognize what the problem is. Yes, the police are being used as a tool, and we have to recognize they are people too. And the police have to recognize that they are people too. We have to come together and realize that the bad things that are going on, and not just, I was just following orders. We have to basically come together and we have to and demand in very calm ways, but very forceful, what happened. Get to the answers. Well, I'm going to keep this down to this subject today. Uh, and I hope that we can come to get more information as this comes about and keep focused on it and get to who's behind the scenes, get to those officers, see who's behind them, and then see, did they stage something? Is there all this gematria stuff and numbers and symbology staged there? Does seem to be suspicious. And again, for the man who died and his family, condolences. Until next time. Bye-bye.